Welcome to my channel. I'm Dr. Romano. Have you ever wondered why in the 70s and 80s interest rates were so high? Well, there was a reason for that. It's because the government needed people to save money because they had spent so much in the previous decades. It is the end of April 2022, and I've noticed a great change that's approaching. Our real estate markets are now at its bubble, it's bursting. And what will you see next is a great change in the way we buy products. Now, you have to say to yourself, why doesn't the US make all their products themselves? Well, somehow, at a certain point, like in the 1990s, it actually became cheaper for Americans to have their products made elsewhere, out of the country. And that's because of something that happened on the global scale. Global economics also affects a lot of things. With interest rates now finally going up, and they will continue to go up. So if you do have an adjustable mortgage, make sure you get a fixed rate as soon as possible, because you will find yourself having to sell your house because you can't afford your mortgage. At this present time, we have another country threatening us that they're going to change the reserve currency to their own. What would happen if the American currency was not the reserve currency? Now, if that were to happen, okay, number one, the typical American would not be able to buy products that are foreign, and you will see an increase in domestic production of goods and services. Now, what would propel that is higher interest rates, a dollar that is no longer pegged by, and a war that threatens a supply chain. Not only does it threaten the supply chain, it becomes a lot more expensive to ship things around the world because things get unstable. And so if I could give you any advice, since you do know interest rates are going up, and that will be kind of an end of our real estate market as we know it. A huge portion of the income of Americans is part of the real estate sector, where you could invest in a house, fix it up, and flip it. Or you could buy it for cheaper before everyone else gets it and flip it. Or you could buy land and develop the land, etc. That all came about because of cheap interest rates. However, can you still do that with high interest rates, such as 10%, 7%, 12%? Evidently, the answer is no. So any people that are in the real estate market right now thinking that they're going to sell their house for a profit, they better do it now. And how could you position yourself to make money in the next decade? Well, if interest rates are going up and we have a foreign country threatening our own currency, in other words, not peg the currency on oil prices or have the American dollar as the reserve currency, that will threaten our ability to buy goods elsewhere, out of the country. In a way, it was actually bad for our country after the atomic bomb was created, because it put the American currency as the world's reserve currency and no longer the UK, the pound. Now, how did that affect us Americans? Well, it became more and more and more expensive to make the products in our own country. In the 1990s, a president who became elected, mid-1990s, I don't have to say his name, he said, I'm going to make sure that everyone in America has their own house. Well, as soon as he said that, I knew that was trouble. Have you noticed how real estate prices have never really gone down since the mid-1990s? Yeah, we had a little bubble burst in 07, 08, and 09, but then it just kept going up after that. And a 20%, a 30% discount when that happened is not really a huge discount compared to what it went up. That whole situation was planned, and it's just normal economics. They realize that if they're going to create these trade deals with foreign countries, that they're going to have to balance the offset of jobs. So what they did was they lowered interest rates so that the real estate market would do really well. And anyone could get into the real estate market, building and selling and etc. And so a huge portion of the population saw easy money. However, the typical American who didn't follow in on the bandwagon and still made the same 30 grand a year, they find themselves lost out in our country. They weren't able to buy a house. And what you also saw is two people having to work to buy a house. What happens if that's reversed? What happens if interest rates really do go up, and they are going to go up because our government needs us to save money in a different way? Meaning, put your money into a savings account and earn 8 to 10% return. When I was a little kid, that's what I used to do with my money, for my Christmas money, for my holiday, birthday money, etc. However, after the 1990s, that didn't happen because interest rates were very low. With the price of products being kind of just as expensive to make it elsewhere, you're going to find a trend that's going to happen. It's actually already started. Products being made home in America to reduce the dependence on foreign production. In the past, the presidents haven't been able to do this because governments make plans over decades. And it has been 2 decades since that plan has taken effect. So now, the next 20 years, 2 decades, you're going to see high interest rates, and it's going to continue. The price of real estate is going to drop, and you're going to find a less of a chance of flipping houses, building houses, making a profit, etc. Now, of course, we need more houses based on the population growing, but it's not going to be to the extreme that it has been, where you'll see 1 or 2 people owning 3-4 houses, let's say. That was possible because interest rates were so low. But if somebody has to come up with 30% to buy a house, that's a lot of money. And so you're going to see the stagnant real estate prices. After we have this market bubble, it will go down 20% minimum all over the US, and some places less. And then what you will see is the real estate market's flat for about, I would say, 10 to 12 years. And the change in the workforce, we're going to be needing people to make products in our country. So if I could give you any advice, sell your house, any real estate that you have that's not earning a rental income, buy land in a small town, and plan to put up a warehouse, prefabricated warehouse building. It's around $50,000 that you could actually buy the steel. They come in, they put it in. Of course, it costs a little more money depending on what size you want. And then think about what product you could make easily. There's a lot of products that you can make here. That is the next future of our country. Bringing manufacturing home, whether we like it or not. This time, we're not going to have a choice because we will not be able to afford to buy it in a foreign country because our currency is going to change now. I know that some people love the future and they love to think that Bitcoin is going to become the future currency. It will never become the future currency. And there's one factor in that. It's too volatile. However, what if someone else comes up with a cryptocurrency that is stable, that is somehow pegged to maybe a commodities price or something like that? Well, it's going to happen. And so my advice to you is if you are waiting to sell your real estate because you think you're going to make a profit, you need to do it now. Next, take your assets that you've made and buy cheap land in a small town where you could put up a warehouse. From there, prepare to start making products here in America. You have to think about something that's cheap, not hard, not high technology, something that people use every day. Those are the products that always win. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe to my video, and please do thumbs up, it really helps. And please share my video with at least 5 people. And finally, please send me a message through the live chat, and I'll make future videos just for you. Thank you for watching.